Paschatya Deshata Prabhu Nityananda Gauravaktavrinda Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Rama Rama
Yadvaya Namaha. Sound is not good.
Pangum Langa Indri Shri Guru Dinatayam Shri Chaitanya Ishwaram. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Today we will continue with the compilation of the Sri Krishna Chaitanya book. Today's chapter is entitled Discussion between Sri Chaitanya Mahāprabhu and the Sanoḍiyā Brāhmaṇa, Part 2. Janmashtami
Sound is very low.
Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Leela.
Zoom sound is very low.
Madhya Leela 17.180.
বৈষ্ণব বা শুদ্ধ ব্রাহ্মণ জ্ঞানে তাহাকে পুরী শিষ্যত্বে শিখা তথাপি পুরী দেখি তার বৈষ্ণব আচার শিষ্য করি তার ভিক্ষা হইল অঙ্গীকার.
Although the Brahmana belonged to the Sanoḍiyā community, Srila Madhavendra Puri had seen that he behaved like a Vaishnava and had therefore accepted him as his disciple. The food he had cooked had also been accepted by Madhavendra Puri. Madhavendra Puri, when he was in Vrindavan, he had a policy that he would not ask anyone for any food. If they offered him food, then he would take it.
Because he behaved like a Vaishnava.
So here it says that he accepted the Sanoḍiyā Brahmin because he behaved like a Vaishnava.
Although principle is to make it a child.
Although technically from the Varnashrama principle, according to the Varnashrama principle, we should not take the prasada.
Because he was behaving like a Vaishnava, he accepted.
Since he was behaving like a Vaishnava, he accepted.
I remember that. I learned the point. He was sitting by the Govardhan Hill.
So I remember that Madhavendra Puri, he was sitting by the Govardhan hill.
Then one boy offered him some milk.
And one boy came and offered him some milk.
He said, I am a village boy, but he was always hungry.
He said that I am a village boy of this village and I don't like to see anyone going hungry. I will come back later and take the pot, and meanwhile you can drink the milk. So Madhavendra Puri, he drank the milk. Then he went to sleep.
Krishna.
In his dream, he saw that the boy was actually Krishna.
He was taken in the forest. There, the deity was buried.
And there he was taken to the forest, and there the deity was buried under the ground.
Kept here a long time.
The deity said that have been kept here for a long time,
In the
and please take me out.
next day, I learned the word came on.
Next morning, Madhavendra Puri, he called the villagers
After the forest.
and they entered the forest
So very same
to the place where he had
thing.
to, to the place where he had seen the deity.
Then the deity was a friend of the gods.
The deity was apparently established by the grandson of Lord Krishna and had been worshipped for thousands of years. When the Mughals had attacked Vrindavan, then the Pujari had buried the deity under the ground. The deity was there for a long time, and the deity now is in Nadvara. I have sent the picture of the deity to my Jayapataka Swami app. I don't know whether it has been published in the various websites. Here the deity is Krishna with his left hand up, with his little finger he's holding the Govardhan hill. So Madhavendra Puri, he put the deity on Govardhan, and the villagers came, they did the Abhishek, and they offered the Bogha.
So this deity was very beautiful.
So this deity was very beautiful.
You can see recently there was some legal case.
You can see recently how there was some legal case.
So,
The deity has been shifted to Rajasthan because of the Mughal
yeah,
fear.
and now the deity is totally
In Nathdwara, the deity is still being worshipped today.
there. Mostly like they worship it.
There, the Pushti Margis, they worship the deity.
And they take from the car
Apparently, it was somehow taken to the court.
concept. The deity was Gaudiya Sampradaya.
And the
Vijay?
court said actually this deity belongs to the Gaudiya Sampradaya.
Right? They should be worshipped.
And by right, they should be worshipping.
Now, was that not helpful to tell them how to do
Also in our Chaupati temple, we have one Nachi deity.
how long? Yeah,
several temples throughout the world, we have the Srinathji deity.
Anyway, it's really found by Father.
Anyway, this deity was found by Madhavendra Puri.
He that was sent by the deity to Puri
And he worshipped the deity and was sent by the deity to Puri to get some sandalwood.
the deity said they're very hot because she had not been bathed long time.
The deity said it is very hard because he had not been bathed for a long time.
And,
So I need some sandalwood.
and a deity of Buddha. Called on the Puri.
This deity in Vrindavan, Srinathji told Madhavendra Puri
And if he applied
that if he applied
to Gopinath, deity of Ramona,
the sandalwood pulp to Gopinath, the deity of Ramuna,
that would cool him down.
that would cool him down. CC Madhya 17.181.
প্রভু তদ্গৃহে ভোজন অবিলাস শ্রবণে বিপ্রে দৈনক্তি মহাপ্রভু তারে যদি ভিক্ষা মাগিল দৈন করি সেই বিপ্র কহিতে লাগিল।
Therefore, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu willingly requested food from the Brahmana, and the Brahmana feeling natural humility began to speak as follows.
So following Madhavendra Puri example, Lord Caitanya thought it
So, following Madhavendra Puri's example, Lord Chaitanya thought that
taking the prasadam from the Sanoḍiyā Brāhmaṇa was all right.
taking prasadam from the Sanoḍiyā Brahmin was all right,
But the Brahman had something to say.
but the Brahmin had something to say. CC Madhya 17.182.
তোমারে ভিক্ষা দিব বড় ভাগ্য সে আমার তুমি ঈশ্বর নাহি তোমার বিধি ব্যবহার।
It's a great fortune for me to offer you food. You are the Supreme Lord, and being in the transcendental position, you are not restricted in any way.
So he understood that Lord Chaitanya was transcendental
So he understood that Lord Chaitanya was transcendental
and that he could do anything.
and that he could do anything.
He was not restricted.
He was not restricted. CC Madhya 17.183.
বিপ্রের গৌর প্রেম এবং অদৈব বর্ণাশ্রমীকে গর্হণ মূর্খ লোক করিবে তোমার নিন্দন সহিতে না পারিমু মুই সেই দুষ্টের বচন।
Foolish people will blaspheme you, but I shall not tolerate the words of such mischievous people. Purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur remarks that although the Brahmana did not belong to the superior community, he fearlessly chastised so-called caste Brahmanas because he was situated on the platform of pure devotional service. There are people who are opposed to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's accepting a Vaishnava belonging to a lower caste. Such people do not consider Mahaprasadam transcendental, and therefore they are described here as Murkha, foolish, and Dushta, mischievous. A pure devotee has the power to change such high caste people and has the power to challenge such high caste people, and his brave statements are not to be considered proud or puffed up. On contrary, he is to be considered straightforward. Such a person does not like to flatter high class Brahmanas who belong to the non Vaishnava community.
So actually, Vedas say that if one is not a Vaishnava,
Actually, the Vedas say if one is not a Vaishnava,
he cannot be a guru.
he cannot be a guru.
Similarly, these people who are very conditioned by the Varnashram Smarta caste system.
Similarly, these people are very much conditioned by the Varnashrama Smarta caste system.
When they criticize Lord Chaitanya,
They may criticize Lord Chaitanya,
and that he could not tolerate.
so that he could not tolerate. CC Madhya 17.184.
মনোধর্মের বিভিন্ন পথ বর্ণন প্রভু কয়ে শ্রুতি স্মৃতি যত ঋষিগণ সবে এক মত নহে ভিন্ন ভিন্ন ধর্ম
Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu replied, the Vedas, Puranas, and great learned sages are not always in agreement with one another. Consequently, there are different religious principles. Purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Unless one comes to the absolute truth, there is no possibility of agreement. Nasau rishir yasya matam na bhinnam. It is said that a great learned scholar or sage cannot be exalted unless he disagrees with the other scholars and sages. On the material platform, there is no possibility of agreement. Therefore, there are different kinds of religious systems. But the absolute truth is one. And when one is situated in the absolute truth, there is no disagreement. On the absolute platform, the Supreme Personality of Godhead is worshipable. As stated in the Bhagavad Gita 18.55, Bhaktya mam abhijanati yavan yas chasmi tattvataha. On the absolute platform, the worshipful deity is one, and the process of worship is also one. That process is bhakti. There are many different religions throughout the world because they are not at all on the absolute platform of devotional service, as confirmed in the Bhagavad Gita.
Not all.
Sorry, Guru Maharaj. They are not. Sorry, Guru Maharaj.
Not all.
They are not all on the absolute platform of devotional service, as confirmed in the Bhagavad Gita 18.66. Sarva dharman parityajya mamekam sharanam vraja. The word ekam means one, Krishna. On this platform, there are no different religious systems. According to Srimad Bhagavatam 1.1.2, Dharma prochita kaitavotra. On the material platform, religious systems are different. Srimad Bhagavatam describes them from the very beginning as Dharma Kaitavaha, cheating religions. None of these religions is actually genuine. The genuine religious system is that which enables one to become lover of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. In the words of Srimad Bhagavatam 1.2.6, Savai Pumsam Paro Dharmo Yato Bhakti Radyokshaje Ahaitukya Pratihata Yayatma Suprasidati. The supreme occupation, dharma, for all humanity is that by which men can attain to loving devotional service unto the transcendental Lord. Such devotional service must be unmotivated and uninterrupted in order to completely satisfy the self. On this platform, there is nothing but the service of the Lord. When a person has no ulterior motive, there is certainly oneness and agreement of principles. Since everyone has a different body and mind, different types of religions are needed. But when one is situated on the spiritual platform, there are no bodily or mental differences. Consequently, on the absolute platform, there is oneness in religion.
So we are observing Janmashtami today,
So we are observing Janmashtami today,
and there we worship Krishna
and today we worship Krishna
as the Supreme Personality of Godhead,
as the Supreme Personality of Godhead.
and therefore there's oneness that everyone should love the Supreme Lord.
Therefore, there is oneness that everyone should love the Supreme Lord.
That should be the real purpose of any religion.
That should be the real religion, real purpose of every religion.
And the absolute platform, and there'll be no difference.
And on the absolute platform, there will be no difference.
But as long as people are using religion
But as long as people are using religion
to achieve economic development or sense gratification,
to achieve economic development or sense gratification,
then they're being cheated from the highest benefit
they are being cheated from the highest benefit.
to actually develop love for the Supreme Person of Godhead.
To actually develop love for the Supreme Personality of Godhead. CC Madhya 17.185.
লোক হিতার্থেই সজ্জনের আচরণ, অতএব মাধবেন্দ্রের প্রদর্শিত পথই একমাত্র নিশ্চয়ার্থক বা বাস্তব সত্যপ্রদ। ধর্ম স্থাপন হেতু সাধুর ব্যবহার, পুরী গোসান জিরে যে আচরণ, সেই ধর্ম সার।
The devotee's behavior establishes the true purpose of religious principles. The behavior of Madhavendra Puri Goswami is the essence of such religious principles. Purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur gives the following commentary on this passage. A sadhu or honest man is called Mahajana or a Mahatma. The Mahatma is described thus by Lord Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita 9.13. Mahatmanastu mam partha daivim prakritim ashritaha bhajantyananya manasho nyatva bhutadim avyayam. O son of Pritha, those who are not deluded, the great souls, are under the protection of the divine nature. They are fully engaged in devotional service because they know me as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the original and the inexhaustible. In the material world, the word Mahatma is understood in different ways by different religionists. Mundaners also come up with their different angles of vision. For the conditioned soul, busy in sense gratification, a Mahajana is recognized according to the proportion of sense gratification he offers. For instance, a businessman may consider a certain banker to be a Mahajana, and karmis desiring material enjoyment may consider philosophers like Jaimini to be Mahajanas. There are many yogis who want to control the senses, and for them, Patanjali Rishi is a Mahajana. For the Jnanis, the atheist Kapila, Vashishta, Dhruvasa, Dattatreya, and other impersonalist philosophers are Mahajana. For the demons, Hiranyaksha, Hiranyakashipu, Ravana, Ravana's son Meghanada, Jarasandha, and others are accepted as Mahajanas. For materialistic anthropologists speculating on evolution of the body, a person like Darwin is a Mahajana. The scientists who are bewildered by Krishna's external energy have no relationship with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Yet, they are accepted by some as Mahajanas. Similarly, philosophers, historians, literary men, public speakers, and social and political leaders are sometimes accepted as Mahajana. Such Mahajanas are expected by certain men who have been described in Srimad Bhagavatam. Men who are like dogs, hawks, camels, and asses praise those men who never listen to the transcendental pastime of Lord Sri Krishna, the deliverer from evils. Thus, on the material platform, animalistic leaders are worshipped by animals. Sometimes physicians and psychiatrists and social workers try to mitigate bodily pain, distress, and fear, but they have no knowledge of spiritual identity and are bereft of such relationship with God. Yet they are considered Mahajanas by the illusioned. Self deceived persons sometimes accept leaders or spiritual masters from a priestly order that has been officially appointed by the courts of material life. In this way, they are deceived by official priests. Sometimes people accept as Mahajanas those who have been designated by Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur as Danga Vipras, impostor Brahmanas. Such impostors imitate the characteristics of Srila Haridas Thakur, and they envy Haridas Thakur, who was certainly a Mahajana. They make great artificial endeavors advertising themselves as great devotees of the Lord or as mystic hypnotists knowledgeable in witchcraft, hypnotism, and miracles. Sometimes people accept as Mahajanas demons like Putana, Trinavrita, Vatsa, Baka, Aghasura, Denuka, Kaliya, and Pralamba. Some people accept imitators and adversaries of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, such as Paundraka, Srigala Vasudeva, the spiritual master of the demons, Sukracharya, or atheists like Charvaka, King Vena, Sugata, and Arhat. People who accept such imitators as Mahajanas have no faith in Sri Caitanya Mahāprabhu as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Rather, they accept godless cheaters who present themselves as incarnation of God and cheat foolish people within the material world by word jugglery. Thus, many rascals are accepted as Mahajanas. It is those who are devoid of devotional service who sometimes mistakenly accept persons with mundane motives as Mahajanas. The only motive must be Krishna Bhakti, devotional service to the Lord. Sometimes fruitive workers, dry philosophers, non devotees, mystic yogis, and persons attached to material opulence, women, and money are considered Mahajanas. But Srimad Bhagavatam 6.3.25 gives the following statement about such unauthorized Mahajana. Prayena. In this material world, karmis, fruitive actors, are accepted as Mahajanas by foolish people who do not know the value of devotional service. The mundane intelligence and mental speculative methods of such foolish people are under the control of the three modes of material nature. Consequently, they cannot understand unalloyed devotional service. They are attached by they are attracted by material activities and they become worshippers of material nature. Thus, they are known as fruitive actors. They even become entangled in material activities disguised as spiritual activities. In the Bhagavad Gita, such people are described as Vedavada Rataha, supposed followers of the Vedas. They do not understand the real purport of the Vedas, yet they think of themselves as Vedic authorities. People well versed in Vedic knowledge, must know Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Vedesya Sarvait Ahameva Vedyaha. Bhagavad Gita 15.15. In this material world, a person may be famous as Karma Vira, a successful fruitive worker, or he may be very successful in performing religious duty, or he may be known as a hero in mental speculation, Jnanavira, or he may be a very famous renunciant. In any case, Srimad Bhagavatam 3.23.56 gives the following opinion on this matter. In this matter, anyone whose work is not meant for elevating him to religious life, anyone whose religious ritualistic performances do not raise him to renunciation, and anyone situated in renunciation that does not lead him to devotional service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead must be considered dead, although he is breathing. The conclusion is that all pious activity, fruitive activity, religious principles, and renunciation must ultimately lead to devotional service. There are different types of processes for rendering service. One may serve his country, people, society, the Varnashrama system, the sick, the poor, the rich, women, demigods, and so on. All this service comes under the heading of sense gratification or enjoyment in the material world. It is most unfortunate that people are more or less attracted by such material activity and that the leaders of these activities are accepted as Mahajanas, great ideal leaders. Actually, they are only misleaders, but an ordinary man cannot understand how he is being misled. Narottam Das Thakur says, Sadhu Shastra Guru Bhakya Chitete Koriya Aikya. One should accept as one's guide the words of the sadhus, the shastras, and the guru. A sadhu is a great personality like Sri Caitanya Mahāprabhu. The shastras are the injunctions of revealed scriptures, and the guru or spiritual master is one who confirms the scriptural injunctions. Accepting the guidance of these three is actual way of following the great personalities Mahajanas for real advancement in life. Mahajano yena gatassa pantaha. A man covered by illusion cannot understand the proper way. Therefore, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, Dharma stapana hetu sadhura vyavahar. The behavior of a devotee is the criterion for all other behavior. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself followed the devotional principles and taught others to follow them. Puri Gosai Hira E Acharan Shei Dharmasar. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu personally followed the behavior of Madhavendra Puri and advised others to follow his principles. Unfortunately, people have been attracted to the material body since time immemorial. A human being who identifies this body made of three elements with his self, who considers the byproducts of the body to be his kinsman, who considers his land of birth worshipable, and who goes to the place of pilgrimage simply to take bath rather than meet men of transcendental knowledge, there is to be considered like an ass or a crow. Cow. Sorry, Guru Maharaj. Bhagavatam 10.84.13. Those who accept the logic of Katalika Pravaha and follow in the footsteps of pseudo Mahajanas are carried away by the waves of Maya. Bhaktivinoda Thakur therefore wants
মিছে মায়ার বশে যাচ্ছ ভেসে খাচ্ছ হাও ডুবু ভাই জীব কৃষ্ণ দাস এই বিশ্বাস করলে তো আর দুঃখ নাই
Don't be carried away by the waves of Maya. Just surrender to the lotus feet of Krishna and all miseries will end. Those who follow social customs and behavior forget to follow the path chalked by the Mahajanas. Thus, they are offenders at the feet of the Mahajanas. Sometimes they consider such Mahajanas very conservative, or they create their own Mahajanas. In this way, they ignore the principles of Parampara system. This is a great misfortune for everyone. If one does not follow in the footsteps of the real Mahajanas, one's plan for happiness will be frustrated. This is elaborately explained later in the Madhya Leela, chapter 25, verses 55, 56, and 58. It is there stated, read the translation. People are so unfortunate that they do not accept the instruction of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Instead, they want to be supported by so-called Mahajanas or authorities. Tate chaya darshani hoite tattva nahi jani. We cannot ascertain the real truth simply by following speculators. We have to follow the footsteps of the Mahajanas in disciplic succession. Then our attempt will be successful. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Vani Amritera Dhara. Whatever spoken by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is an incessant flow of nectar. Whoever accepts his words as reality can understand the essence of the absolute truth. No one can ascertain the absolute truth by following the philosophy of Sankhya or the yoga system of Patanjali, for neither the followers of Sankhya nor the yogis who follow Patanjali accept Lord Vishnu as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Nate vidu swartha gatim hi Vishnum. The ambition of such people is never fulfilled. Therefore, they are attracted by external energy. Although mental speculators may be renowned all over the world as great authorities, actually they are not. Such leaders are themselves conservative and not at all liberal. However, if we preach this philosophy, people will consider Vaishnavas very sectarian. Srila Madhavendra Puri was a real Mahajana, but misguided people cannot distinguish the real from the unreal. But a person who is awakened to Krishna consciousness can understand the real religious path chalked out by the Lord and his pure devotees. Sri Madhavendra Puri was a real Mahajana. because he understood the absolute truth properly, and throughout his life he behaved like a pure devotee. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu approved the method of Sri Madhavendra Puri. Therefore, although from material viewpoint the Sanoḍiyā Brahman was on a lower platform, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu considered him situated on the highest platform of spiritual realization. Srimad Bhagavatam 6.3.20 states that there are 12 Mahajanas: Brahma, Narada, Shambhu, the four Kumaras, Kapila, Manu, Prahlada, Janaka, Bhishma, Bali, Shukadeva, and Yamaraja. To select our Mahajanas in the Gaudiya Sampradaya, we have to follow in the footsteps of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his representatives. His next representative is Sri Swarup Damodar Goswami, and the next representatives are the six Goswami: Sri Rupa Sri Sanatan, Bhatta Raghunath, Sri Jiva Gopala Bhatta, Dasa Raghunath. A follower of Vishnu Swami was Sridhara Swami, the most well-known commentator on Srimad Bhagavatam. He was also a Mahajana. Similarly, Chandidasa, Vidyapati, and Jayadeva were all Mahajanas. One who tries to imitate the Mahajanas just to become an imitative spiritual master is certainly far away from following in footsteps of the Mahajanas. Sometimes people cannot actually understand how a Mahajana follows other Mahajanas. In this way, people commit offenses and fall from devotional service.
So Prabhupada elaborately explained
So Srila Prabhupada elaborately explained
who is the real Mahajana, a real authority,
who are the real Mahajana or the real authority,
and who is a false Mahajana
who is a false Mahajana,
or imitator authority.
is an imitator authority.
Now in this internet age,
Now in this internet age,
many people who are business lectures.
so who are many people who give business lecture.
They give resources how to be successful in business.
They give discourses how to be successful in business.
They're considered as authorities or Mahajanas.
They are considered as authorities, as Mahajanas.
They have millions of followers on the internet.
They have millions of followers on the internet.
This is not the real standard.
This is not the real standard.
Srila Prabhupada has established what the real standard is.
Srila Prabhupada has established what the real standard is.
To bring one to the platform of loving the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna.
To bring one to the platform of loving the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. CC Madhya 17.186.
শুদ্ধ ভক্তের পথই অনুসরণীয়। মহাভারতে বন পর্ব 313-117। তর্ক অপ্রতিষ্ঠ শ্রুতয় ভিন্ন নাশা বৃষিজস্য মত না ভিন্নম ধর্মস্য তত্ত্ব নিহিতং গুহায়াং মহাজনজনগত সপন্থা।
Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu continued, dry arguments are inconclusive. A great personality whose opinion does not differ from others is not considered a great sage. Simply by studying the Vedas, which are variegated, one cannot come to the right path by which religious principles are understood. The solid truth of religious principles are hidden in the heart of unadulterated, self-realized person. Consequently, As the Shastras confirm, one should accept whatever progressive path the Mahajanas advocate. Purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. This is a verse spoken by Yudhishthira Maharaja in the Mahabharata Vanaparva 313.117.
I want to follow the real Mahajanas.
So one should follow the real Mahajanas.
One should follow the unadulterated pure devotees of the Lord.
One should follow the unadulterated pure devotees of the Lord.
This is the path recommended by Lord Caitanya Mahāprabhu.
This is the path recommended by Lord Caitanya Mahāprabhu. Okay, Shri Guru Maharaj. Hare Krishna, Shri Guru Maharaj will be back after a short. Okay, CC Madhya 7.187.
বিপ্র গৃহে প্রভুর ভিক্ষা, তবে সেই বিপ্র প্রভুকে ভিক্ষা করাইল। মধুপুরীর লোক সব প্রভুকে দেখিতে আইল।
After this discussion, the Brāhmaṇa served lunch to Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu. Then all the people residing in Mathura came to see the Lord. Haribo.
And
Chapter here. So thus ends the chapter entitled the part. Yes, part. Part 2. Under the section, the Lord travels to Vrindavan.
Kolkata 51,000 rupees for TOP Seva. Aniki Jaswani from Bhopal 5,000 rupees for Janmashtami Seva. Rukmini Satyabhama Devi Dasi from Hugli 30 Gitas, Notan Datta from Birbhum 8 Gitas, Sarvatma Gopal Prabhu from Mayapur 3 Gitas, Momita Sadhu from Murshidabad 11 Gitas, Ramarupa Ghoradas Prabhu from Damodar Desh 31 Gitas, Divya Golokeshwari Mataji from Assam 6 Gitas, Sarup Krishna Prabhu from Kolkata 14 Gitas, Pan Yukai family, Lee Mafo family, Chatra Devi Dasi 1 Srimad Bhagavatam set, Vishaka Prema Devi Dasi from Russia 1 Srimad Bhagavatam set, Devashish Manna from Midnapur 1 Srimad Bhagavatam set, Sukriti Subhadra Devi Dasi from Balaram Desh 72 Gitas and 10,000 rupees for Guru Maharaj Seva. Matilal Datta from Midnapur 1 Bhagavad Gita. Danya Lakshmi Devi Dasi from Mathura Desh 10 Gitas and 20 small books. And 10,000 rupees for Gurma Seva and 6,666 rupees for TOP Seva. Santu Samantha from Tata 5 Gitas. Subhananda Mukunda Das from Krishna Katha Desh 55 small books. V. Madhavan Nair from Kerala 30 small books. Hari and Keshav Madhav from Mayapur 3 Gitas. Ravi Ganapati Raman Prabhu from Bangalore 20,000 for Guru Maharaj Seva. And these are from Kashadesh devotees on Janmashtami Day. 7 set Srimad Bhagavatam set, 1 set Chaitanya Charitamrita, 20 Gitas, 26 small books, 30,000 rupees for Guru Maharaj Seva. All these wonderful devotees will have a special Narasimha Puja on the Gokulashtami. And a few hours from now in Shri Mayapur, we please bless these devotees by calling out loudly after me. Nitai Gauranga! Kindly pass this message to others so that even if it is a single Gita or just a few small books, also please contact Vichal Table through WhatsApp plus 919434760402 plus 919434760402. And we need a prayers, Corona prayers. Please stay safe and stay tuned. And Maria Kalak Thoniwan Lidhimala Pankina. Let's pray from Srida Mayapur, if it pleases to Lord Sri Krishna to protect the above devotees and devotees all over the world who are affected by Corona. Our prayers includes for all those who are celebrating their anniversaries today and for birthdays, for their well-being and blissful Krishna conscious. We chant once. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jai Shri Krishna Janmashtami Maha Mahotsav ki. And tomorrow we are going to celebrate Srila Prabhupada appearance day 125th. So stay tuned and connected through Guru Maharaj's Facebook for tomorrow's programs. And thank you, dear devotees. Jai Ho.